What are you noobs with general disturbance? This is a Bat Châtillon 155 the tier 9 French SPG. This one is on the southwest corner of the Arctic region, and it's under the command of Angelina75 of OLIMP, and it's this week's entry in the weekend lie-in competition. Game on! Well, I did hear from Talon that there was probably going to be no contest this week, mainly because they just didn't get a chance to put in any replays or any time on the game, down to the fact that little Remy is off to school. Yes, he's actually going to school, and they were getting him ready for it. Well, they actually did manage to squeeze in some game time, and Angelina sent this replay in as her first entry. Okay, one mark of excellence on the barrel. It's a 155mm howitzer. It's capable of doing 680 alpha, 48mm pen, 7.6 meters on the burst radius, between 12 and a quarter and 27 seconds of stun. Okay, so she fires her first shell at the mouse or cat, whichever way you want to look at that little area, the stepped area near the cap area, where you can actually look and see the enemy at the distance. It creates a little kind of ramp which looks like a mouse. The other one looks like a duck. Okay, there's a TS-54, and that's a direct hit right on top of him. Nice shot, actually. French Artys tend to have a very low trajectory, which makes it difficult to hit targets when they're hiding behind things, because you're trying to get the shell over the top of the rock into them, and sometimes it doesn't cooperate. Rounds out in the sharp future 4. The shell went just behind him, and we're changing positions. Now, as you've seen many times before, the Bat Châtillon 155, like its brother Arty, the Bat Châtillon 155-58, has the ability to turn the turret to a different angle to the way the tank's facing, which means you can, if you want, change or move and not actually and do so very quickly just by moving forwards. You actually alter the position and avoid any counter battery. Last shot on the Rheinmetallborsig Waffenträger, and we managed to get a penetrating shot for 692. It's a low roll, very low roll, but it is a penetrating shot. The next shell that goes out is going after the Scorpion, and I don't think it actually managed to get any damage, but you can see Angelina's moving about quite freely. Now, she knocked that tree down, but she is careful to avoid it now, to go away from that position. If the enemy Arty is looking for her, they'll see the tree go down, they'll aim at that spot. But, okay, she's just turned the turret to face this TS-54. She fires in, and she gets a hit. Very good. Yes, so if the enemy Arty was watching that tree fall, they would probably assume that Angelina was actually still there, but of course they would have missed it. The enemy Arty in this game is an M53, M55. Now we're 3 up on the enemy at the moment, and there's that Scorpion again. He's changed position and he has lost a few hit points. Rounds out. Now he's lost some more. 203 from Splash. Of course, Angelina's selection of going for the Borsig Waffenträger and then going after the Scorpion G was mainly down to the fact they don't have much in the way of armor. And if you do hit a tank with no armor, you might get a penetrating shot. She did on the Borsig. Now, the standard reload for this Arty is 28.76 seconds. Angelina's got a reload time of 23.99. So she's actually firing very quickly. It's about the same sort of time as she would in a tier 6 Arty, but this is tier 9. She's not fired yet, but now she's got the opportunity to. Direct hit, 274. It all adds up in the end. You just keep pumping those rounds out. As I say, keep your barrels hot, because the more shells you pump out, the more chance you've got of getting either in a Confederate or of actually influencing the battle to get a victory. Okay, she's ready to go again. Rounds out and direct hit again. Look at that, right on the quarter. All she has to do is move backwards or forwards just a little bit, and the enemy will always aim at the wrong spot because they won't know where she's moving next. Just having a quick look there, I think she was looking more for any enemy defenders. She's just spotted an ELC. She fires at him. Oh, very close. She did get stun on him. Unfortunately, he's now behind the MX-30. Yeah, in fact, the MX-30 turns to deal with the ELC and gets shot in the back by the Scorpion. Okay, going for the TS-54. Rounds out. Another direct hit. Now, the enemy has managed to equal the number of the score, but they've actually left a fatal weakness, Angelina's team, because they've left the entire north route open. And I think our teammates are now starting to spot that, because you've got an ELC M90 and a Wizzy 132 looking to plug the gap. There's a very good chance that the enemy ELC or even a T-49 are on that route right now, headed towards our cap area. ELC's taking up residence in the bush, that little crater area. Angelina's changing position, of course, to get a better angle on the enemy, because from this far back in the woods, it can be difficult to actually get shots on some routes, just in case the enemy is actually trying to come that way. No sign yet. That doesn't necessarily mean the enemy isn't coming. I must admit that many's the time that you expect the enemy to come and they don't come because they don't even know that the route is open. It's not open now, and unfortunately the ELC M90 and the T-49 both turned up. Angelina's aiming towards the TS-54. Oh, and she wiped him out this time. That's Angelina's first kill. Okay, the enemy ELC is also being very crafty, used to go down by the lake. And it looks like our ELC is also trying to do the same, trying to get him. There's the T-49 being attacked by the Wizzy 132. Angelina's loaded, fires the round in, and gets some stun. Now, will we get some stun assists? Yes, we do. But unfortunately, the Wizzy 132 does go down, and he's taken out by the enemy ELC, who is now attacking our ELC, who I think has actually trapped himself. I'm wondering what's going on there. She fires at the T-49, who goes down, taken out by our ELC, but our ELC is now badly wounded. And in fact, he is down. He was taken out by the enemy Arty. So we're now 3 tanks down on the enemy. And they're pushing on all fronts. So, oh, well, at least we got one back. The enemy ELC dies. They had 2 of them, by the way. Isn't it always the way you see in battles nowadays that most of the remaining enemy and towards the end of a battle are either premium tanks or they're a tank that can't actually be easily got rid of, such as Arty. Sharpview G4 goes down. Angelina's second kill. Looking at the team lists at the moment, you can see that the enemy team has a Concept 1B, an M53, M55, the sole tank that's actually a non-premium, 2 Scorpion Gs, both premium, and an ELC M90 that's also another premium. She's just been spotted and slotted by the enemy Scorpion G. The sole remaining tanks on our team are an M75 and a M1951. That's the only premium. And an AMX-30. He's just gone down. So now Angelina's team is just 2 tanks left. And whilst they are strong tanks, I don't think they're going to be able to fend off 5 enemy vehicles, especially when they've got Arty support. M55 is now up against the Scorpion, and whilst he does have a powerful gun, in fact they both have the same gun if I remember correctly, it's a similar gun. There's the other Scorpion, takes a hit. I think the M55 does have a faster reload, but doesn't stop the Scorpion getting him. And that's it, it's game over. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a bruiser medal for Angelina75 OLIMP in the Bat Châtillon 155-55. She didn't get a mastery out of that one, unfortunately, but she did get a bruiser because she managed to get 12 critical hits, and she only needed 5 to get the medal. She also got a win rate of 3,582, which shows that she wasn't hanging about. She was doing a lot of damage on the enemy, because that's super unicum standard, but it just wasn't enough to get the mastery. We look at the team scores. We can see the highest damage on Angelina's team is Angelina, 2,840. And in fact, she managed to get the 3rd highest damage in the game, because the highest damage actually went to a Striv S1, who didn't get a high caliber. He got a tank sniper for 2,961. In 2nd place was the TS-54 that Angelina killed, and he got a Confederate and 2,852. And then we've got Angelina with 2,840, just beating the Shure 4 that she killed as well, and he got 2,773. When it came to kills, we can see the high scorer was the Concept 1B on the enemy team. 4 kills to him. 2 kills went to Angelina and the Shure 4 on her own team. And on the enemy team, there's Striv S1 and Scorpion G both managed 2 kills. The TS-54 on the enemy team got a Confederate, by the way, and their M53, M55, he picked up a Confederate as well, hitting more of the enemy than anyone else in his team. In fact, I think we can see it's 7-1. So yes, he did have a 6 difference to get that Confederate. And the TS-54, he's also got the 7-1. So of course he got a Confederate as well. When it came to base XP, it's the TS-54 who did the best with 991. 935 went to the Yilsi M90. 778 went to the Striv S1. Angelina only managed to get 412, so a little way down the table. She fired 17 rounds, which is more than enough to actually get a good result in the game. 8 of those were direct hits, and 2 of them penetrating shots, 11 splash. Damage of 2,840, all of it at more than 300 meters. Well, if we were to look and see which ones were the penetrations, we know that the Borsig got penetrated. Very low roll for 692. And I suspect that the other one was probably the Shah. Yes, only 81 hit points there when she took him out, but it was a penetrating round. She also received 1 hit. It was a penetrating shot. It was from the Scorpion, and his alpha was more than enough to take down Angelina. 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, so she just missed out on getting a medal there. If she got just 1 less destroyed tank, she would have benefited and picked up a Confederate. So it just goes to show, sometimes getting a kill actually works against you rather than actually wounding the enemy and just getting an extra damaged. So yeah, unfortunate that. Missed out on getting a medal. 314 hit points of stun assist off 11 stuns. Now, Angelina did make a profit off a free-to-play account. She got 16,769 credits, and she got a 40,000 mission completion reward out of that one as well, and 412 base XP out of it. But that was unfortunately a loss, and she goes sigh. Yeah, it's disappointing. It was a good battle. She did put up a big fight, but didn't get anything out of it. No mastery, no medals, but came very close. Anyway, this is setting the standard for this week, because this is the first replay that Angelina sent in, and Talon sent in a replay as well, so we can watch his response to Angelina's game and see if he wins this week's Lion. Talon's replay is on the defending team of Steps Assault, and he's in the Tier 9 American SPG, the M53 M55. Now, as many of you are probably aware, if you've been a regular on our channel, Angelina and Talon have a contest each week for the best Arty replay that they can put out. The prize for winning the competition is to get the weekend lie-in. That means on Sunday morning they get to sleep in late, whilst the other has to get up and look after their little boy Remy. And he runs around and plays with his toys, switches the lights on, turns on the computer. Yes, he's getting quite active now. But they actually have to get up and look after him, whilst the other stays in bed and they get a weekend with breakfast in bed. First shot gets a direct hit on an iron Arty. Now this is an 8-inch howitzer. It's capable of 900 alpha and penetrating 52mm of armor with a 10.5 meter burst radius, 12.5 seconds and 28 seconds of stun. Now, the competition is based on the level of mastery, and then the level of medals, and then on the win 8. Oh, brilliant shot on the move. Hit the engine deck as well, 401 hit points. So, if Talon was to get, say, a third-class mastery, at the moment he would be beating Angelina, because she doesn't have any mastery medal at all so far on her first submission. If they both of them had Bruce medal, then of course that would equal. And if one of them did have a medal, the medal would beat the same mastery. They have the same mastery. And if of course they both got the same mastery, the same number of medals, then it all goes down to the win 8. Who's got the higher win 8 out of the two? And it's a good contest because everybody is rooting for their favourite to see who will win the weekend lie-in. And of course, they really do enjoy that weekend lie-in. Talon's lined up on the 705. He's ready to shoot as soon as he's loaded. He's loaded, rounds out, and it goes over the top and explodes behind the guy. So the 705 escaped that one. There's always a large number of players to shoot at on the assault games. Because the enemy are pushing, they know that they've only got 10 minutes. We're loaded, but he shoots at the T28 prototype. He lets it dial in, first rounds out. Accurate hit, 429, non-penetration. The M53, M55, based on the pattern tank, it was basically a pattern tank that they turned around, and so it was actually having its rear facing the enemy. They made it off the M47 hull, and they actually made quite a few of them, but they were sold to Turkey, Belgium, Spain, West Germany, and Taiwan, the Republic of China. And they were used between 1952 and 1960. They started work on it in the 1950s, 1952 to be precise. So basically they started work on it after the Korean War. Can he get a shot? Rounds out. And he gets a kill shot. So that's his first one. It has a very wide firing arc because, of course, the Arty does have a turret at the rear of the vehicle, and you can see they removed one of the return rollers, which makes it easier for the shockwave or the stress caused by the recoil to be transmitted to the ground, so that the vehicle doesn't fall apart. Rounds out on the Ulysses, hits the rock face instead. You can see from the achievements marks on the vehicle that Talon has had an ace tanker before. In fact, he's had a few so far as I remember. In fact, both Angelina and Talon are very practiced players. And they take a lot of care. In fact, it was Talon that taught Angelina how to play Arty, but now she's becoming the master, so to speak. 206 hit points. He's racking up the damage. The angle of arc on the Arty is 60 degrees in total, 30 degrees either side of the center line. So when you're sat up and park, you ideally want to do so that either the vehicle is facing directly at the enemy, or you want to create the arc in such a way that you can fire at the enemy without having to redial in. Because if the enemy moves outside the arc, then the vehicle has to move, and that increases the red fuel again. Now, another thing that Talon's doing here is he's actually staying away from the cap area. We do have some tanks around the cap area, but the other Arty in our team is an M40, M43. He stayed behind, and he's now vulnerable, whereas Talon isn't, because he's actually gone further north. So he can fire back at the cap without the enemy firing on him, and that will help protect him. He's loaded, and I think he's decided that this is a good firing position. Just wants to back up a little because he doesn't want to get spotted by that Nomad. Okay, looking back towards the cap area, we can see that the enemy tanks that were attacking have now been wiped out. And in fact, there's only 5 enemies left. 2 of those are Arty, the FV3805 and the GW Tiger P. There's the Nomad. Now, if you can put a round up there. Oh, direct hit right in the face. 485 hit points. It's not a penetrating shot, but it's a high non-penetrator. There you can see those tracks, the way they had the return rollers removed so they can actually transmit the recoil. He has been spotted. The Nomad saw him. Now, both enemy Artys might, try to nail Talon straight away. It's a point of pride amongst Arty players. If your enemy Arty gets spotted, you try to take them out because you know how stationary they're likely to be whilst they're aiming, and makes it an easy kill. But it's also because Arty players know how powerful the Arty is. It is a very powerful tank. It's a very powerful piece in the battlefield. Well, the enemy Arty have been gone. They're just been wiped out by the Barask. It's the same Barask. So he's just picked up a Pascucci's. And I wasn't watching there, but he missed the Samur, but only got some stun on him. Yes, that Barask on our team just picked up a Pascucci's medal, and now there's only 2 enemies left, the Samur and the Nudes 033. Now the Udas is down in the south, so far as we know. The Samur is up near their spawn area. I think he tried to go south and failed. Well, the Samur's getting surrounded, but he's still putting up a fight. He just took out a Skoda T56, but he's been killed by the M40, M43 from the other side of the map. Just goes to show the other Arty player on our team is putting up a fight as well, and he's going by the name of Kinky Lady. And that's it, the game's over. They've killed the Udas. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the 3rd class tanker for talon1958 of OLIMP in the M53, M55. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9. And he got a Confederate as well, because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And his win rate from the game was 2,674, which is Unicum standard. So let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, the highest damage in the game turned out to be that Barass, the one who got the Pascucci's medal and a patrol duty. He got 3,042 hit points of damage. Second highest damage went to the enemy FV3805 with 2,812, so he was no slouch either. Mr. Cool Guy Alpha is his name. And the third highest damage turned out to be Udas 033 on the enemy team with 2,682. and Talon got 2,481 hit points of damage, and of course he got the Confederate. Now that means that he was beaten by 2 members of the enemy team, 2 members of his own team, and he was in 5th place when it came overall to damage. When it came to kills, though, the high scorer was that Barask, 4 kills to him, 3 kills to the Skoda T56, who unfortunately got killed by the enemy Samur right at the end, and 2 kills went to the Chieftain prototype, the FV3805, and the Samur SM on the enemy team. Talon only got the 1 kill, but as we saw, the fact remains that he actually did get that Confederate medal. And when it came to base XP, it's the Barask with 1,537. The VK4502A got 1,024. They're the only 2 to get over 1,000. In 3rd place, we got the Skoda T56 with 985. And Talon got 675, which is way down the table. But of course, he's got a mastery, a bruiser, and a medal. Let's have a look at detail. He only fired 12 rounds in the game, but he got 6 direct hits and 1 penetrating shot and 9 splash. Well, can we see which one he actually penetrated? Was it the T28? Yes, it was. 735 hit points, 1 penetrating shot through the side. T28s weren't actually designed with a lot of side armor. They were really designed from frontal armor and a very, very decent gun. The T28 prototype does have a decent gun, but it's not built to withstand hits right in the side. So that's why he got penetrated. He also got 9 splashes, 2,481 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 7 of the enemy, kill 1, so there's the Confederate. 383 hit points for stun assist off 9 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made 61,706 credits profit, and that included a 50,000 mission completion bonus. And on top of that, he got 2,025 experience points out of the game as well. He said, hit as many as you can. Well, that's exactly what he did, and he got a medal because of it. So you see, it does pay to pump those rounds out as fast as you can on as many enemy tanks as you can so that you can actually pick up a medal. Because even if it is only a Confederate you get in the game, it could bump up the amount of credits and XP that you actually take away at the end. Because, of course, if you get a medal, you get the commiseration of the Achievements Award, or what they call Courageous Resistance, for actually having tried hard to win the game and finally getting a medal out of it. So, yes, even if you drew or lose the game, you're going to come in, quids in, or you're going to benefit. So, yes, it does pay to get that medal and pump as many rounds out as you can, helping your teammates as you do. So, 3rd class bruiser and a Confederate. I'm afraid that does beat Angelina so far. Angelina, as we can see, well, it comes back up. There you go. Angelina's is only a bruiser. She did get a better win 8 on the game because she pumped out more rounds. And she just narrowly missed out from getting a Confederate. But at the moment, Talon's 3rd class is what's actually giving him the benefits of so far, because that is a 3rd class is better than no mastery at all. And so, and as well as a Confederate, but it doesn't mean that Talon's won. He could still lose this contest because Angelina could come back with either a better score, or she could come back with an ace tanker. And of course, if you get an ace tanker, that wins the game for that week straight there and then. And Angelina's been known to do that. So yes, he's not out of the woods yet. He needs to keep practicing so that he can get a better one. Hope you enjoyed this week's contest so far. If you did, please give our video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.